What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get into today's video, guys, we are 11 subs away from 200. Hang on guys, I completely forgot to take these out. But we are literally 11 subs away from 200, guys. We are getting so close to the goal of 200. Not only that, I found out that we have reached over 30,000 views overall, which is incredible. But excuse me. But I know that we can get to 200 subs by the end of the summer. I know we can. I know we can do it, guys, because the moment we get to 200 subs, I'm opening up this Korean Strike of Neos booster box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to pull this guy, Elemental Hero Air Neos, the so-called forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card. Is it really forbidden? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Now, if this channel gets to 500 subs, I'm opening up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon. The possibilities are out there, guys. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I'm opening up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull my second ever Collector's Rare. Because that wouldn't be the first time I would have pulled a Collector's Rare, because I also pulled this. A Collector's Rare Beat Cop from the Underworld. It is absolutely beautiful. I am planning on getting this graded at some point, but if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, and you guys are new to the channel, because I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below, answering the question of the day, which is this: should war games become a permanent stay for Survivor Series? Because for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of WWE Survivor Series 2023 and the top 3 matches that should be on the card. But before we get into it, I do have a quick announcement to make. Tomorrow there will be no video tomorrow. I am actually going to be taking that day off because my brother is going to be coming over, and I want tomorrow to just be a chill day. But do not fret. I will be posting a question of the day on my community tab. It's been quite some time since I posted on my community tab, so be sure to check out that post when it goes up, and I will be seeing you guys on Wednesday when I do some card discussions with you guys on the channel. So again, simple reminder, guys, tomorrow no video, but Wednesday we will be going back to our regularly scheduled filming, and I will be posting on the community tab tomorrow as well. So with that being said, you guys are fully aware that Survivor Series has become a yearly tradition for WWE, and it takes place right around Thanksgiving weekend, if you will, dating all the way back to November 26, 1987, where both that event and the one in 1988 on November 24th both took place in Richfield, Ohio at the Richfield Coliseum, where the first Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination match featured Andre the Giant, Butch Reed, King Kong Bundy, the One Man Gang, and Rick Rude taking on Bam Bam Bigelow, Don Morocco, Hulk Hogan, Ken Patera, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Think about that, guys. Think about that. And then as you guys know, over the years, it became a yearly tradition where we would have at least one or two Survivor Series elimination matches. Now, obviously, you guys know the rules. Once a superstar is pinned or is made to submit, he or she goes back to the locker room, and the remaining members of one team standing are declared the winners and the sole survivors. And we've seen over the years, we've seen so many people become sole survivors. Guys like The Rock, guys like Hulk Hogan, guys like Dolph Ziggler, and even also guys like Randy Orton as well. Just to name a few. Even Rhea Ripley at one point became a sole survivor, which was crazy. And not only that, you look at last year's Survivor Series, right, in Boston, where we saw the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes inside of War Games. And it's interesting because out of everybody that was in that match, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Ridge, Butch, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens. Out of every single one of them, only two have been in War Games before, Butch and Kevin Owens. But when it comes to War Games, we know that just because you won the War Games Advantage match doesn't mean that you're gonna actually win the match. We've seen that happen before. Look at Team McAfee versus the Undisputed Era. If I remember correctly, Team McAfee actually won the War Games Advantage, and the Undisputed Era ended up winning. Think about that. So when you look at the pros and cons of this year's Survivor Series, which we found out will be taking place in the Allstate Arena in Chicago, in Chicago, the biggest con of all of this is that we don't get at least one War Games match, because we had two last year. Last year we had Team Bayley versus Team Bianca, which Team Bayley featured all three members of Damage Control, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki Cross. Team Bianca had Bianca Belair, who was the Raw Women's Champion at the time when the Raw Women's title was still around, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Michin of the OC, and the return of Becky Lynch, which, ironically enough, Bayley's team got the War Games Advantage, but Team Bianca ended up winning. So again, the biggest con of all this is that we don't get a War Games match. But when you look at the idea of champion versus champion at Survivor Series, you look at the battles that Roman Reigns had, at Survivor Series, him against Drew McIntyre, him against Big E. You look at those, and they were just instant classics, because those matches, he actually won those matches on his own. Mind-boggling, right? Well, one of the big matches that I want to see is Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. Think about that, right? Two former Shield members going at it. Two icons in their prime. Both have won multiple world titles over the years. Both were tag team champions together. They were tag team champions together. And if you think about that, and the battles that these two have had against, with one another, it's basically been 50-50. Honestly, this is a match I would want to see at Survivor Series. Is definitely Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins. That's one match that I want to see, because of the fact that they are so polar opposites of one another. You got Roman Reigns who is a champion because his family needs him to be champion. And as of right now, a lot of people are saying that the World Heavyweight title is basically a secondary title, and I don't see it that way. I honestly, I don't see it that way. In my opinion, I think that with how many title defenses Seth freaking Rollins has had in the last month and a half, it's already getting to be on the same level as the undisputed Universal title. So that's saying a lot. That right there is saying a lot. But another thing too is that, again, as I said, Roman Reigns is champion because his family needs him to be champion. Seth is champion because the fans wanted that. The fans wanted the idea of Seth freaking Rollins as champion. Yes, it's true that they wanted AJ Styles as champion as well, but if it came down, but if they had to pick from one or the other, they would choose the latter and go with Seth freaking Rollins. Another thing as well that I would love to see, that I would love to also see, and this is a second match that I would love to see. If Rhea Ripley wasn't the women's world champion, I would love to see the Judgment Day versus the OC once again. I think that right there would be incredible. But let's also not forget, there's been a lot of rumors going around as of late that supposedly NXT is going to be getting involved. So think about this, right? Think about this. You would think that Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins one-on-one, you think that would be the match, right? No, it's not. That's not the match. The match that the world wants to see is Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Carmelo Hayes. Think about that. The undisputed Universal Champion versus the World Heavyweight Champion versus the NXT Champion. 3 champions. 3 of the best world champions that we have in WWE right now going at it in a battle to see who is the best, who is the top world champion. Think about that. Think about the magnitude of that idea. So, of NXT once again invading the main roster and proving that NXT is superior to Raw and SmackDown combined. Think about that. We could even also see as well Asuka versus Rhea Ripley versus Tiffany Stratton. But that's where everything switches, because we don't know if these champions are going to hold on, are still going to be champion by that time. So there is still a lot to consider. One of the biggest things that we do also have to consider is the fact that both Io Sky and Damian Priest hold the Money in the Bank briefcases, which means the trajectory of Survivor Series could fall into the favor of both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. sorry, not Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. But again, Reigns, Rollins, and Hayes, that's one match I want to see. Asuka, Ripley, Stratton, hands down, probably one of the best matches I would love to see. Gunther, Austin Theory, and Wes Lee. Think about that, guys. That right there would be incredible. That would be an incredible matchup right there. But I think the one match that the world wants to see, Schism, the OC, and the Judgment Day. That right there would have the makings of a crazy matchup. But I think the one match that the world definitely wants to see is Raw, SmackDown, and NXT's best inside of War Games. And if I had to pick from Raw, I would say Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Bronson Reed from Raw. Those are the four. From SmackDown, I would say Karrion Kross. Let's see. Karrion Kross, Bobby Lashley, Sheamus, and I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I would say Edge. I'll say Edge. And then from NXT, Dijak, Damon Kemp, Ilya Dragunov, and Braun Breaker. Think about that, guys. Think about that. A match of that magnitude will be awesome. But the question is, are we really going to get these matches? Is NXT even going to get involved? What's going to happen? Those right there are the big questions that we need to ask ourselves. Because for all we know, we might not even get War Games on, at Survivor Series. We might not even get NXT at Survivor Series. That right there, I think that right there is arguably one of the biggest cons that we could get, is not seeing War Games or NXT get involved at Survivor Series. But I will say this to close out this video. I will say this. Again, that right there is the biggest con of them all. The biggest pro is obviously seeing War Games come up, see NXT get involved, and those matches that I talked about, we actually get those matches. But we could even also see faction warfare, which would be what? The OC, Schism, Judgment Day. I wouldn't mind seeing that match. I think that would have the makings of a good match, but only time will tell. But that once again brings me to the question of the day: should War Games return to Survivor Series? Actually, no. What was it? Should War Games become a staple to the main roster? I think was what I asked. Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below. as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.